I've been running some research vids through. We got some running around to do. I'm going to add them to the West Coast Cat 2020 series. Like the way I like to do this. Just keep adding research vids as I go along. So I got a little bit of shit I got to run around and do. Probably going to add a couple of things here today. I didn't put a filter on yesterday, so I think I'm going to put one on today. And I'm going to try to put the wide angle on as well. Let's see. There we go. I think I got it all in. Yeah, so I'm going to throw these last couple days worth of research vids up on West Coast Cat 2020 series. I put a lot of shit on Patrick over the last, I don't know, 3-4 weeks since I started the series. I think it's been about 4 weeks now. I'm 3-4 weeks into it or something. and it's a lot. I mean, he already told me from the beginning that, you know, he's got a full-time job and a life and shit. He don't want to tell me that he's got time when he really didn't, so that's fine. I agreed to that, to those terms. I'm coming, buddy, I'm coming. Okay, thank you. Seeing how much the camera's bouncing around while I'm driving. Let's see if those lenses come off. So anyway, so right now, when I left in Patrick's hands, doing it the same way that I did with Rick, doing it the same way I do it with everybody else. Patrick just, you know, as Rick did come through with some research vids, the originals, not the remasters. We never got into doing any remasters. He might be doing it on his own or something, I don't know, but he never got into doing it with me, so I was hoping that Patrick will get into doing that. It'll help me to see that others are able to see it clearly, and not be in denial of what's there, I guess, is kind of the way I'll word it. So right now, I put on Patrick's plate over the last 4 weeks, the moon, to print the moon up, and do some videos, research vids of the moon on paper and on plastic. That was one of the first things I started out with. I don't remember why, but I think I was already on the moon or something, and I just decided to stay on the moon. And so I have not seen that yet, but then Patrick said that he's got another idea where he wants to take it a step further even and get the telescope and set up and camera and do his own videos and photographs of the moon. That's great. Unnecessary, but it's good. For what I needed to know is, are you able to see the imagery? He did point out a couple of them in the moon video, and that's what I'm going on when I responded to that. I responded to that particular video and showed him a little bit more about it, but not all that much, because there's so much to go into that I just got to give a little bit at a time. So, you know, you see how to print it up. You know how to download the moon, the photograph of the moon. You know how to print it up. That's number 2. If we get that far, and anybody has any interest in taking it any steps further, should see if the filter moved or not. I don't think so. No, it looked like it did. It looked like it stayed. Shit going on. Which way are they going? They're going that way, so I'll leave it going. Yeah, so that gave him a lot to do. I haven't seen him do that stuff, but who knows? He could be doing that shit at his own house, so who the fuck knows? And just not posting it yet. He's probably just looking in on it or whatever, I'm assuming. So then I went from the moon, and then Patrick posted all the seashells. I made it through only, I think 2 seashells so far, and he's got another 10 or 12 for me to go through. So I will get through those as I'm going through the series and stuff like that. But I don't want to be behind on anything. So, like, if he's waiting for, or I'll talk directly to Patrick. Either way, I'm hoping that it'll come to all these. Patrick, once you got your telescope and stuff set up and shit, that'll be great. We'll be able to work on that stuff once you got the camera and the telescope working and everything's going good. But I don't want that to stop you from all the other stuff, you know, because it might be overwhelming. I don't know. It might be overwhelming. It is a lot to take in. And you made some mention about wanting to do things on the smaller things. You like the littler things better. Your eyes are catching it better. And that may be, but I didn't want to give you that yet because there's just so much. So to get it down to a microscopic level, so now I'm going to be giving it to you at the cloud level. We can print the clouds out. We can take photographs of the clouds, print them, and even go in on those on a microscopic level, separate the imagery that's in the carbon paper from the imagery that is actually in the clouds. And then when you get it down to a microscopic level, it actually explains a lot. Again, bells and whistles go off in your head and you're like, oh, I see. So I'm trying to take you through these things one at a time, purposely, not necessarily the way that I found them, because that didn't work with Rick, so I don't know. I'm just trying to come up with another way of doing it. So right now you got the moon. The clouds you already were in on, so now it's just a matter of remastering the clouds so that you can get a feel for collecting the data that way. It's just, I'm calling it remastering now, I guess is the word. I used to just call it going over or copying. Now I'm calling it remaster. Tightening the pixels is what we're doing. So we're tightening the pixels once at the cloud level with original, and then we remaster it again and tighten the pixels again. And able to pick up angles and shit like that. Just makes it more convenient, takes the light out of your eyes, all that kind of stuff. So there's a lot of shit that I haven't even gotten into because I'm skipping it because it didn't seem to work out on the Tripping Sponge series. Like, for example, EMNC boxes. To me, EMNC boxes are critical to all this, so that you're able to move the camera around and see the imagery without having to find a shady area. You can just put the box up anywhere you are, and the box does work on the street interviews. I'm able to get others to collect this data for me unwittingly. As soon as you tell them what it is and what they're doing, then that's a whole different story. So we went from the moon, then we got the seashells. I'm showing you how to remaster on the seashells, Patrick. So if you wanted to, if you'd rather do that, that's cool. What I'll do is I'll go back to the house, and maybe later today or tomorrow, I'll give you a demo on and add them to your series. I'll give you the demo on the microscope, the little microscope that goes on your camera phone, and I'm trying to find also convenient ways that we can do some things together. The big stone that I did right in front of my window, I don't think that's going to work. I haven't heard back from you on that. But if I didn't hear back, I'm just assuming that's not going to work for you. You don't have that option right where you are or whatever. So the next thing I'm going to do is today, as I'm doing these research vids, I'm going to go around town and I'm going to collect some stones of my liking. And I also have 2 stones been sitting on my counter for about a year now that I have not gone into. And I like both of them for separate reasons. And I will get going on that. But that's going to also leave you something else again. There's a big fire going on over there. What the fuck they doing? They burning leaves? That's funny. It's right up behind the firehouse too. Anyways, so I'm giving you all these different things. So the other day it was the clouds, remastering the clouds, and take your time, no rush. What I'm trying to do is I'm trying to stay 1 or 2 steps ahead of you, Patrick, because I don't want to feel like I'm letting you down as far as the series goes. So that's what I'm going to do. So Patrick, you already sent me a message back saying don't worry about it. If I want to go and do the remasters of the Michael Oziak channel and stuff like that, it's okay because you're so busy right now and stuff. Anyways, you're not going to have time to do any of these things. Gotcha. I appreciate that. And at the same token, I'm trying to find you things that you can conveniently do 20 minutes at a pop, 10-20 minutes of your time here and there at your convenience, so that you're not running around. Because when it comes time to collecting the data from the moon and digitally collecting the EMNC from the moon, it's time consuming, man. That's gonna it is. It can eat up a whole day and a night. Because if you got a daytime moon coming through and you're trying to not only collect the imagery, but you're also watching for the clockwise rotation that I'm talking about, and you're also trying to collect the images, certain images, so that you can time the moon and confirm a lot of this shit I've been saying about the moon, then yeah, it's going to be time consuming when that time comes. So if you can't break away 20 minutes here and there to do these things now with the clouds and a stone or a rock and stuff like that, then I don't know, man. It's going to be really tight for you. We might be waiting until next year to really have a really good series for you, but that's okay. I mean, even if we just go up to 100 or 200 parts for this series here, because we're already almost up to 100 parts already. So if we just do up to 100 parts, 200 parts, something like that this year, and then next year or the year after, when it's more convenient for you and you have more time, that'll give you a lot of time to absorb all of this and all that kind of shit, you know. So so I'm flexible. I'm easygoing either way. That's okay. But I want to be realistic about it. I mean, really, I mean, if you're busy, I don't want to be putting all this shit on you and you're not able to do it. It's okay. It's no big deal. I may wonder about it. I may be suspicious about it, but who cares? I'm fucking suspicious about everything, so no biggie. Because to me, it's a big. To me, everything that I'm doing here is like there's nothing bigger, there's nothing more important. But that's just me. I have to get used to it. Everyone around me is like, you know, it's not such a big deal to them. So I'm getting used to that. It's already at 60 minutes. All right, I gotta get some shit here, get some gas and stuff. I think I just wanted to say that. So anyways, on your table, I'm going to continue going with the West Coast Cat series. Anyways, I'll just slip in a couple of vids here, a couple of vids there, these research vids, shoot the shit with Patrick a little, have some give and take with you, Patrick. That's what I'm going to be doing with the series. And then right now I've given you the moon, I've given you the stones, I've given you some mountains, I've given you some of the ones I'm using from your videos. So now those are your videos. You already have them on your channel. It's more personal to you. So therefore, you can go in on the side of that mountain in the Philippines. You can go in on the tree from the Philippines. You can go in on that shell that I went into from the Philippines, because those are all filled with fucking imagery. So to get a feel for it and a practice of the lights and shadows, then I already gave you all that. So you have a lot to do as far as that goes. Now, it doesn't mean it's got to come out fucking perfect or anything like that. You just got to run a camera over the fucking screen. Just zing, zang, zing, zoom, 10, 20 minutes. You can respond back to me to whatever. I'll be happy with any response. You could say, Mike, I don't see anything. All I'm doing is moving my camera around on the screen, but I cannot see the imagery and I cannot make shit out. That's fine. If that's honest and that's really what it is, then just tell me. That's all right. Then same thing with the moon. If you got the moon printed out on paper and you're not seeing anything and you're, you know, got it at that 33-degree angle that I'm talking about and you're moving it around everywhere and you're still not able to make out imagery, don't worry about it. Just let me know so that I know, okay, he doesn't see it. He sees something, but he's not sure what it is and he's not able to separate the imagery, because that's usually what the issue is. If it's not someone that's just fucking with me, then it's just someone whose honest mistakes are not mistakes. They're just learning curves. Getting to understand that it's all about the lights and shadows, the angles, and knowing how it all works. You know, nighttime, daytime. There's a lot. I can only give little pieces at a time, because otherwise it's just too much. It's just too much to get all at one time. That's why I've been fed, I'm assuming that's why I've been fed everything that I've been fed over the last, 10 to 13 years, whatever it's been. And it's been a little bit at a time going along. And that's probably why. Because otherwise, if I would have just got all this all at once, like I'm trying to do to all of you, I'm trying to just cram it all at you all, it's not easy, man. You fucking have meltdowns. Your body and your brain are just not going to accept it. You've been programmed with all these other things, so it's going to seem more realistic that. Diesel? Yeah, diesel. Anyways, I'll be right back. Uh-oh, overheating. Yeah, so what I'm doing right now, the dash cam, is another thing. I was letting everyone know how to mount these dash cams and how much easier this is. The reason I was doing that is because if there's ever a conflict of how hard it is to grab this imagery, and it's so tough, and you really got to know what you're doing, and you got to be an expert photographer, or any of the other bullshit stories that I hear. This eliminates that, because any fucking moron can go and put a camera on their dash cam. Everyone's got them. Every time I drive by cars, if you're just watching movies in your fucking camera, then nobody seems to be upset and offended by it. But when you're digitally collecting electromagnetic nanocarbon from the system, for God forbid, everybody's can't do that. You can't have a dash cam on your car, and it's impossible, and it's so hard to do. Now it's fucking 5-minute mission. It's a $5, and because I did find the mounts that do mount on the side of the dash. They don't have to be right on the top of the dash. I already cut my dash up and everything, so no big deal. But I did find them. So they do exist. They're out there. There's a lot of different ways of doing this, so that, again, this is just driving around. I don't have to be talking to the camera. As a matter of fact, to grab these videos, these research vids, I can just shut the fucking mic off, and they're all the better. And, you don't have to listen to me talk about shit. I can play the radio, all that kind of stuff, which sometimes I do. I do have times where I do that. Not very often, but I do, because I like people to know it's just a regular running around. There's nothing special about it. So it's good when they hear crackling fire, or they hear the birds chirping, or they hear the traffic going by, or they hear people talking. They know it's just some dude that is doing his average day, but yet somehow everybody around him is missing what he's showing us right here in this fucking camera, because everybody seems to be missing it. I don't know. They don't fucking see it. Fucking funny, man. Shit. Let's see. Let's make it away from the sun for a minute. minutes. 28 minutes. Alright, just a few minutes left of this one, and I gotta reset the camera. I might as well just do it now.